name's Eric. This is the Volkswagen MK8 Golf GTI. Volkswagen and GTI goes hand in hand, and GTI, the Golf GTI, has been the standard hot hatch that every other car manufacturer tries to either copy or try to do better. This is the benchmark, or at least the earlier generations were the benchmarks. The new MK8 GTI has some cutthroat competition, and in this review I'm going to find out if the GTI MK8 is still the hot hatch king. What I like about Golfs and GTIs and performance Volkswagens Golfs is that they're always really simple. And what I mean by simple is that, at least in earlier generations, there wasn't that much that differentiated the normal Golf with the GTI or the performance versions. I think that Volkswagen is going away from that look a bit, and you can clearly see that this is no ordinary Golf, not just thanks to the paint, but this red stripe that goes on the grille here and this hexagonal plastic in the rear. You have the two classic GTI tailpipes and not that much else, and I like that. These all minor tweaks gives the GTI the aggressiveness that it needs without being too much. In the rear compartment there isn't that much changed. To note that you actually have to pull the lever quite hard in order to open it up, because I don't know if it has had a lot of miles, but the gas struts don't hit until around here, so you need to use some force. Nothing to really complain about. A plastic sheet underneath. Base. Harman Kardon sound system. 400 watts. Sounds quite good actually. Rear compartment, or the rear seating sofa. Quite snug and quite high up, so I don't have that much lower thigh support. But because of the front seats are really soft in the rear, there aren't any sharp edges or plastic that makes it uncomfortable on longer rides. And actually the foot space is quite decent. I really like that Volkswagen has kept to this pattern. A lot of plastic, and everything is dark. You can see plastic, 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 dark. This is entirely made out of plastic. The only other color that is here is the metal from the door handles. But I have to talk about the price in regards to the complaints I had about the interior, because the manual, yes, the GTI is available in a manual, 34,000 euros, but this is the DSG gearbox, 7-speed, so it costs from 36,000 euros. This base price is fine, but once you add some extra options, you're looking at close to 39,000 euros, and then you're also getting close to Hyundai i30N, Renault Trophy. You're getting close to a lot of other competitors which has more amount of horsepower and of course more hot hatch focus, because the GTI is hopefully still a really usable daily machine. The engine is the famous or infamous EA888 engine, and in this configuration it produces 245 horsepower and 360-380 Newton meters. Decent for the bog standard GTI, and there isn't any performance pack available which bumps up the horsepower. But then again you have the Club Sport. The seats are really angular and they are a bit huggy. The most prominent light is here. There are also lights here, but they're barely noticeable. There's also a light under the, not the cup holders, but the side door storage area. Also, there is an indentation here, so there's a lot of space underneath here. If you put anything here and you accelerate, if you just go into this little crevice. Nice for NFC wireless charging, and your phone is safe and secure. 2 USB Type-C plugs, Storage area here, digital buttons everywhere, goes straight into mode, parking menu options, parking assist, parking help. I tested the parking assist and it worked okay when you get to really close parking spaces. It is a bit so and so, but it gets the job done. Quite a lot of sound from the AC, radio, media, phone, easy to pair, no problem there. Navigation works fine. Sometimes the infotainment system in general is a bit slow, clear screen, and I like this GTI performance gauge cluster layout. Let's see, we go right here. You can change it with this view button. Standard layout, and you can of course change what's in the middle and what's on the right and left side. So temperatures, fuel indication, assistant, navigation, sound, yeah. And you can on the left side change power, boost, assistant. So in many ways you can change the same on the left part and on the right part. It is of course the hot hatch from Volkswagen, and I spoke about the engine before. It is a rather torquey engine. In the Golf R version it sounded quite muted, but here it sounds really throaty and raspy, and it has a really nice tone to it. The improvements to the chassis is that the front suspension has had a lot of different components changed. A lot of bushings have been changed and some other components. And the spring rate is 15% stiffer. They've actually managed to reduce the weight by 3 kilos. The GTI feels stiffer than the R. And because the steering has variable geometry, it's really fun to hoon around in. In comparison, the Golf R feels much more softer, while still being, of course, really fast. It has some limited slip differential that comes as standard. And actually, it's coupled with the brand new chassis control, so it monitors the road. It still has some pull up top, but it's definitely a torquey engine. Right now, the chassis control is doing quite a fine job. If you want to have the max amount of control and let you play to the fullest, you need to go into ESC Sport, and then you can't use the cruise control. I think that 245 horsepower and all of the chassis components comes together really well. All in all, driving this more aggressive, I really like it. It's enjoyable, it is easy to approach while still being stiff and fun to drive. To finalize the car, it is a stiffer GTI, and in some ways it takes away from the well-roundishness of previous GTIs. I don't feel that this is as comfortable as it should be, and it loses that edge that the GTI had, being a well-rounded hot hatch. By going more aggressive, it is getting close to its competitors that has already gone to the more aggressive side. And I don't know if Volkswagen is doing it enough. It is aggressive enough and doing everything good enough to justify that path that Volkswagen has taken with the new GTI. And that's my final review for the new Volkswagen Mark 8 Golf GTI.